Live streaming is on.
Okay, guys, welcome to Science today. So last class we looked about the effects of disease. So this is kind of a wraparound. This talks about being smart about our medicine. I'm sure some of this might seem really basic to you, but I do want to kind of go over this article. Then there's some questions that go along with it. So title is, if you look at the top, Smart About Medicine. And our first paragraph here says, check these do's and don'ts for taking medicine safely. Do you know almost 1 in 3 teens think there's nothing wrong with using prescription drugs without a doctor's prescriptions, according to Partnership for a Drug-Free America. It says medicines can help fight illness and get better faster and keep people from getting sick in the first place. But if they aren't taken correctly, medicines may cause more harm than good. Read on to learn more about responsible medicine use. Okay, so it says, do take all your antibiotics. Here's a scenario. After 3 days taking the medicine your doctor prescribed for strep throat, you feel great. You still have 7 days worth of pills left. Is it okay to stop taking them and shove them in the back of the medicine cabinet until the next time you get sick? It says nope. Always taking all the antibiotics, and antibiotics is a bacteria fighting drug prescribed by your doctor, even if you start to feel healthy again. When bacteria are undertreated, they have a chance to multiply, says Dr. Tanya Arora, a pediatrician at the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. You get bacteria that no longer responds to antibiotics. Some antibiotics don't just get rid of bacteria, Arora says. Some can help prevent other problems. For instance, strep throat is not fully treated, can lead to ruminant fever and illness and cause damage in the heart. So what that's saying is sometimes we do start to feel better after a couple days, but especially if you're getting an antibiotic, you need to take it until the prescription runs out. That way it makes sure it kills all the bad bacteria, because sometimes, you could still have bad bacteria and still start to feel better. And if you don't fully kill the bacteria, it can lead to other types of illness besides strep throat. Okay, the next one says, don't take other people's medicine. Most commonly, teens get medications they aren't supposed to be taking is from a friend or a relative, according to this 2008 Monitoring the Future survey. But sharing your medicine or taking another person's medicine can be dangerous. It's also illegal. If the drug was not prescribed to you, you don't have your own doctor's knowledge of how the prescription medicine will interact with your body or with other medicines you may be taking, said Steve Pazzer, president of Partnership for a Drug-Free America. That means you get very sick. Plus, if you take someone else's medication, that person won't have enough of it. Pharmacists cannot refill a prescription if a medication has been used up before it should have been. That could put another person's health in danger. Sometimes too, some of us maybe have allergies that we don't know. So that's one of the things too. So if you're taking someone else's medicine, your body might have an allergic reaction to it, and that causes you to get really sick. So it's usually very wise to make sure that you're only taking medicine that was prescribed to you. And remember, like over-the-counter stuff like aspirin, Tylenol, things like that, you don't need a prescription for that. So that's fine. It's just that when a doctor gives you a prescription and you take someone else's prescription, you could have side effects to that medicine. So that's why it's always important, to make sure you're taking the medicine that was prescribed from your doctor, not someone else's. Okay. The next thing, do make sure you're taking the correct dose. It says every week, approximately 1 in 10 kids use some kind of cough and cold medicine, according to experts at Boston University. Cough and cold medicines can be a big help when you're sniffling and sneezing. But because you can buy without a prescription, many people don't realize how just dangerous those drugs can be if they are misused. While cough medicines may have different names, they often have the same or similar ingredients. For example, the ingredient dimethain, which treats cough, can make you stop breathing if you take too much. These medications are not meant to take away all your symptoms and make you feel back to normal. They only help a little bit, Arora says. Taking more than you should won't help your symptoms. And that's kind of a common problem, even with adults. We think more is better. That's why it's really important to try when you go to, wherever you go, Rite Aid, Wegmans, Walmart, and get your over-the-counter medicine. When over-the-counter means you don't need a prescription, you could just go into the, one of the aisles and pick up like a cough syrup, cold medicine, something like that. Is you make sure you're taking the right amount, because like this says, if you double up on it, it's not going to make you get feel better twice as quick. Okay. Do find out whether your medicine shouldn't be mixed. Okay. Sometimes drugs interact with other drugs, foods, or vitamins. For example, iron supplements can keep triglycerin, a common antibiotic, from working. Grapefruit juice affects a number of medicines, such as ones for heart disease and allergies, as well as some that fight infections. Certain vitamins and supplements for athletes have damaging effects on the kidneys and liver. It's important that your doctor know what you're taking so they can avoid prescribing medication that may worsen the damage, said Virginia Cox of the Consumer Health Protection Association. So what that means is sometimes when you're taking over-the-counter medicines, it can have, sometimes they have, you can have a negative reaction, or it also can really affect your kidneys and livers. And your liver is basically, it gets rid of all the toxins in your body. So sometimes, your liver might be working overtime if you're kind of taking an over-the-counter medicine with, like it says, like with grapefruit juice or something. That's why it's always important to read the label. And a lot of times they just want you to take medicine with water. So it's important to make sure that you're kind of reading the label on any over-the-counter, and also prescriptions too. Make sure you're not taking it with some sort of juice or liquid that you're not supposed to. Last thing, I think it says don't take expired meds. Some medicines don't work as well as time passes if they kept in high temperature. Expired medicine may not work as intended. That's why it's better to always go to the doctor than try to figure out on your own what you ought to do. Your self-diagnosis may be wrong, and the prescription medicine you take may have a negative impact on what's truly wrong with you. Okay, so say you had strep throat last year, and we went up to the first thing, we didn't take all our penicillin. It's been sitting in your medicine cabinet for a year, and you get a sore throat. Well, that penicillin, it might have been exposed to heat. It might not be good, and you could have kind of maybe an allergic reaction, or maybe something else happens. That's why it's important to, first of all, to finish that penicillin. And then if you get a sore throat again, go see your doctor again. I know sometimes it's a pain in the butt getting into the doctor, but for your own health, it's probably safer to always go. And if you do have strep throat again, have your doctor prescribe you a new set of penicillin. Okay, so this last one is RX Quick Check. Put your medicine smart to the test. You have a fever, but otherwise you feel okay. Should you take medicine that treats fever, sore throat, sneezing, or coughing? Well, I think you probably, if you only have a fever, you're only going to want to take something that treats a fever, and usually something like aspirin or something along those lines would help treat fever. One thing you guys can always do, if you go into whatever drugstore or even one of the supermarkets, there's always a pharmacist in there. And even if you're getting over the counter, you can always ask the pharmacist, hey, I've got a fever. Is there some sort of medicine that'll help reduce the fever? And the pharmacist will usually tell you, what you should be taking. And that's, you don't even need to go to your doctor if you just have like a headache or something or a fever. The pharmacist can kind of direct you to take certain types of medicine. Okay. So it says your family has a bottle of medicine with an expiration date of August 2009. That means it was safe to use until, well, that date, August 2009. So if it's past, say you're in September of 2009, that medicine has expired, so you don't want to use it. And it says true or false. Abusing over-the-counter prescription medicines can be just as dangerous as using illegal street drugs. And that would be true because we talked about that. You're supposed to take the recommended, whatever dose it is. So if you're taking double or triple, that's, it's could have the same effect as taking prescription medications. Your body could, have some sort of reaction to it, and it could be really hard on your liver or kidney. Okay. You may have heard the expression, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a spoonful by the spoon either. Kitchen teaspoons, the kind you eat with, shouldn't be used to take liquid medicines. That's because not all spoons are alike. So some spoons can hold anywhere from 4 milliliters of liquid to 10 milliliters, according to a study by doctors in Minnesota. However, the correct amount of liquid in a teaspoon serving is 5 milliliters. Using a measuring cup instead, this can be sure that your dose is right. And a lot of times, you guys, if you're getting a cough medicine or something, it usually has a measuring cup right in the top. So you want to make sure you're using that instead of using a spoon, because sometimes, like it said, some spoons are bigger than others, and you want to make sure you always are taking the right amount. So I want to go to the questions here, you guys. Okay. It says, according to the text, how many teenagers think there's nothing wrong with taking prescription drugs without a doctor's prescription? And if you look in here, that was covered in the first paragraph, you guys. It says 1 out of 3 teens think there's nothing wrong with using prescription drugs without a doctor's prescription. So according to the text, how many teenagers think there's nothing wrong? So that's 1 out of 3, so it'd be C. 2, the text gives readers a list of things they should do and should not do with medicines. Which of the following does the writer include in the text? You always need to finish taking all the antibiotics prescribed. You can take someone else's medicine. You can mix medicine with any other foods or drugs or vitamins, or you should not take expired medicine. So this one is one of those. So basically, you always, so we have to read this. It says you do not always need to finish. So you always do need to finish. That one can be a little bit tricky. And we know you don't take anyone else's medicine. You don't mix medicines. So D is you should not take expired medicines. That would be the correct answer. 3 says sometimes food or other medicines can interfere with the effectiveness of drug. What evidence from the text supports this? Grapefruit juice affects a number of medicines, such as ones for heart disease and allergies. So that would be A would be the correct answer. If we went back to the text, and I think I'll show you where that grapefruit one was. No, I can't find it. I think it's up here. Oh, it's right here. Sometimes drugs can interact with other drugs, foods. For example, iron supplements can keep trilaceline, a common antibiotic, from working. Grapefruit juice affects a number of medicines. So it'll be the grapefruit juice. Okay. 4. Based on the text, which of the following is likely? All medicines are safe to mix with food and drugs. That's not true. People always take all their antibiotics. We find out people don't do that. Many people do not use medicines correctly. No one ever shares medications with other people. So it'd be C. Basically, the main idea is not most, but some people don't take their medicines correctly. Okay, 5. What is this text mostly about? I would say how to take medicines responsibly. It would be A. Okay. 6. Read the sentence from the text. Some medicines don't work as well as time passes or if they are not kept at high temperature. Expired medicine may not work as intended. So expired, it's asking what she means. Expired means the example they gave was, I think, August 09. So a lot of times, or most times on your prescription, you'll get a expiration date. And what that means is past a certain date. So once that medicine, you get past the date on the prescription bottle, that prescription or medicine is no longer effective and you shouldn't take it. So expired means past a certain date. Just like when you go to the store and, milk, juice, meat, sometimes there's an expiration date on it. It means don't eat it or drink it after that date. Okay. And just like your driver's license, some of you, there's an expiration date. And once you reach that expiration date, your license is no longer valid. So that's really what expired means. Okay, 7, choose the word that best completes the sentence. Grapefruit juice can affect a number of medicines. Blank, you should ask your doctor if it's safe to drink with your medications. So grapefruit juice can affect a number of medicines. Before, you should ask your doctor if it's safe to drink your medicine. So there's before. Grapefruit juice can affect a number of medicines, so you should ask your doctor if it's safe to drink. Grapefruit juice can affect a number of medicines because you should ask your doctor, and that's after. So the correct word would be grapefruit juice can affect a number of medicines, so you should ask your doctor if it's safe to drink with your medication. So we're going to go B. Okay. According to the text, what are the 2 reasons people should not take someone else's medicine? So if we go back to the passage, let's see here. Let me see where that is. I think it's... Okay, so here's one. If the drug was not prescribed for you, you don't have your doctor's knowledge of how the prescription medicine will act with your own body or with other medicines. So you don't know how it's going to act with your body would be one. And then the other reason is if you take someone else's medicine, that person won't have enough of it. So that person not only could be harming yourself, but the other person you're taking it from won't have enough to basically treat whatever illness they have. So those are the 2 reasons why we shouldn't take someone else's medicine. And explain how medicines that you can get without a prescription to be more dangerous than those with a prescription. Use evidence from the text to support your answers. It's just the same thing. We tend to these medications are not to be taken away all your symptoms to make you feel back to normal. They'll help a little. Taking more you should and won't help your symptoms. So it's this one is about make sure you're taking the correct dose. And that's even with over-the-counter drugs, because sometimes we tend to think, like I mentioned, that taking more is going to make us feel better faster, and that's not always the case. So you can do make sure you're taking the correct dose. You can pull something out of here that would help you answer. Explain how medicines you get without a prescription can be more dangerous than others with a prescription. Okay, just the same thing. It can affect we talked about, can affect your kidney, can affect your liver. Basically, you could have an allergic reaction. All those would be good examples of how over-the-counter medicine can be just as dangerous or even more dangerous than those with prescription. Okay, so what I'll do, you guys, I will go ahead and I will post this article in Google Classroom. And remember, you guys, if you want to go back and listen to it again, you can always hit this little play button right here, and this will play the article, and you can listen to it again. So, all right, you guys, have a wonderful day. I'm going to start social studies here in about 10 minutes. If I don't see you in social studies, have a wonderful weekend and stay warm. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.